Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a oil change on my daily driver. It's a 2017 Volkswagen Golf Sportwagon. Some of the stuff you might need is going to be a 32 millimeter socket to get the housing cap for the oil filter off, flat blade screwdriver, obviously the oil and the filter, some jack stands, also a jack to lift the car up. I'll show you where to do that, where you jack up the car, put the jack stands at. Stay tuned. Also, it does help if you have a funnel, something a little bit smaller that fits in the oil fill. These are like about $1, $3 maybe at the auto parts store, so definitely grab yourself one of these because it makes the job a lot easier and you don't make a big mess. Alright, so once you get your jack under here, you want to jack it right in front of the, I guess it would be the transmission mount, just right in front of it. You don't want to go on it because that'll push the bushing out, so just go right in front of it. I already got my jack stand set up. I'll show you where to place those and we'll get to the oil. Alright, so you want to place your jack stands. It's kind of hard to see because the car's so dirty, but there's an arrow and there's a little pinch weld that hangs down below the rest of it, and you want to set your jack stand right on top of that. Okay, got my jack stand in the right spot, and now we can start draining the oil. Alright, right here, this is the oil pan. The oil plug is right there. It is, they say there's a special tool for this, but I've always used just a regular flat blade screwdriver. The plug is one-time use, so make sure you get a new plug with your kit. All my stuff I buy is from Shop DAP. They're great, so head over there and I'll link everything in the description. Alright, before you start draining the oil, you want to take the fill cap off. Yeah, nothing to it, just screws on right there. This will help get all the oil out faster and smoother because it has air to come in and push out. Obviously you're draining oil, so it's going to be like suctioned in there a little bit, but if you take the cap off, it makes it go a little bit smoother. There it goes. Focus. Once you start feeling it start to come out, make sure you have your catch can set up. And try to not get any oil on myself. There we go. Alright, once this is a slow drip, grab some of the oil and put it around the gasket. Let's see if it focuses. Put it around the gasket of the new drain plug. This will help slide it right into place. It's not going to bind up when it has a little bit of lubrication on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, same concept for going in. Just do not cross thread this. This is your oil pan, so if you happen to cross thread it, you're going to need a new oil pan. So just kind of feel it out, but it should just tighten in there. Let's see, you might just need to get past that gasket. There it goes. And then this is, once you tighten it all the way, you'll see it snap into place there. It has a little backing locking tab thing, so once it goes past that point, you just stop. You don't tighten it any more than that. Alright, next you got to take the engine cover off, and to do this it's pretty simple. You just kind of pull up. They're held on knobs. So just pull up on 4 corners. And there we go. And there are those knobs that they held on by. One there, one there, one there, and one right there. There we go. You just pull up, and yeah, it's not too hard. Alright, once you got your oil pan out and your drain plug back in, you can now lower the car, and then we'll work on the top here. We'll go ahead and lower the car down first, and then I'll show you how to take the oil filter off. Okay, same concept as lifting it. Just lift it back up off the jack stands, pull the jack stands out, and then slowly lower it. Alright, for the oil filter, you're going to take your 32 millimeter on your 3/8 ratcheting socket and just kind of loosen this up. Now be careful, it is plastic, so you don't want to go too crazy on this. Just like that. And I'm going to put a couple of rags down in there, so because the oil may spill out just a little bit. So I'm just going to put a couple of rags around it to prevent a mess to clean up later. And just put it right in your oil pan for the time being. I'm gonna get the new filter ready. Alright, now that we got the old filter out, what you want to do is take it out of the housing. It's going to be really hard to do with one hand. Basically, you do not want to take that long piece out. You just take the filter part out, which is that right there. Alright, old filter is out. We're going to put the new filter in, and basically just it snaps in there. You'll feel it click in. Pulling it out, same way, you'll pull it out with some strength and it just pops right out. There is a new gasket for the housing. We will put that on. Again, lubricate it with some of the old oil, and that way there's no, like, when it goes on dry, it's basically gonna like bind up and potentially damage the gasket. But when you lube it up with a little bit of oil, it can move freely. The old gasket just sits at the almost the very bottom of the housing, and you just put a flat blade screwdriver in there or a pick and just kind of pull it off. For the new one, just do it by hand. Don't use any tool to put it on. Just kind of work it down into that same spot. Alright, new gasket on, new oil filter in. Just push that down in and use a little bit of force. Pops right in, you'll hear it click. We're going to go ahead and put the housing back in the motor here. And make sure you don't get this cross-threaded. It is plastic against metal, so you could very easily strip that out. So just be careful, make sure you have the threads right. It should go in nice and smooth by hand. And once you get it somewhat tight, we'll start using the wrench on it. Still turn it a little bit here by hand. Alright, now on top of the oil filter housing, you'll see a torque spec, 25 Newton meters. Torque it to 25 Newton meters, and then after that go up 5 and torque it again. That is from Volkswagen spec. Just remember, it is plastic, so don't go too crazy if you don't have a torque wrench. Alright, now we're gonna add oil to the engine, and where you took off the fill plug earlier, that's where we add the oil into. So go ahead and start adding oil. Alright, so when I get 5 quarts in, I always like to check the level of the oil. This is your dipstick right here. So we're gonna check the oil level and see where it's at, and then from there, if it's in the safe mark, you want to start the motor for about a minute, get all the oil where it needs to be, shut it off, let it rest for like 30 seconds, check the oil, and that's how you know where to add more oil to. Basically, it's going to be probably like maybe a half a quart low, because it's going to work its way into the motor and where it needs to go. So yeah, we'll give it a start here in a second. I'll just check the dipstick real quick. So just wipe the dipstick clean. I'm putting it back in. And where are we at here? Alright, got the dipstick back in. I did check the fluid, or the oil. It is about almost to the like full mark where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna start it up, let it run for maybe a minute, shut her back down, and then I will go ahead and check the fluid again, or oil. I keep saying fluid. Make sure you put the cap back on. If you don't, you're going to have a mess of oil all over your engine compartment. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start the vehicle. Alright, just an update. I did run it for about a minute, shut it off, waited about 30 seconds. Checked the oil level. It was about a quart low, so I went ahead and added that 6 quart. We're going to put the oil cap back on. We're going to put the engine cover back on. And you're done with your oil change. Pretty simple. Just make sure there's no leaks anywhere. Check the housing, there's no leaks. Check underneath the car, make sure there's no leaks. We're all good with that, and then I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything that you need me to touch on, just comment below. Feel free to reach out to me. If I need to improve on something, just comment below. I know I need some work on these videos, but I'm doing the best I can, and I am getting a little bit better at it. But just comment below if you have any feedback for me. Thank you.